When it comes to drug use, you pop Xanax?
Xans, to be honest, that's the thing I'm not really big on now. You know, there's been times in my life where I'm going stupid hard on the Xans, you know what I'm saying, with anything. You know, I have my phases, but to be honest, Xans, that's something I only take when I'm, you know, really, really stressed or really, really depressed, or, you know, when I'm just in the house laying back. If I got stuff to do or if I need to be on top of my game, there's Xanax aren't even a part of my life. You know what I mean? That's, you know what I mean?
What's the most Xanax you've taken in one time?
The most Xans I've taken at one time, man. Back when I was young, man, to be honest, back when I was in my teens, I used to go stupid hard with the Xans. Like, we used to get started by taking 2-3 bars, you know what I mean? By the end of the night, you didn't know what you was on. You know, you might be on a couple of ecstasy. I remember one night specifically, I had took like at least about 10 bars and took about 5. This is no lie to you, I swear to God. And this is the night where I basically quit the Xan shit. You know what I'm saying? I had a night where I went out with me and my friends. It was me and some of my best friends, you know what I mean, in the world. We went out and we was doing this like every day at the time, you know what I'm saying? We was going out, getting completely wasted. I would wake up and didn't remember shit. Go out to the bar, drink a whole bottle, take some Xans, pop some ecstasy pills. Cause back when I was growing up, that was back when Gucci and Waka and all them were popping, you know what I'm saying? And that's all they were rapping about was the X pills. That shit blew up where I was from, you know what I mean? And I used to be on that shit every day. So then I found out about Xan, cause I didn't take no pills, but when I started with the ecstasy, I'm like, oh, pills are all right. So I tried Xans, perks, you know what I mean? And I was trying to, you know, experimenting around, trying to see what I like. But my thing was the ecstasy at that time. But I remember specifically that night I went out and took at least 10 bars, at least 5 faces, the character ecstasy pills. And I'm talking about, man, I woke up in a hotel with a bitch I ain't never fucking met in my life, didn't know this bitch, you know what I mean? And just woke up, didn't remember nothing. I remember having thousands of dollars when I went out. I woke up with like a couple hundred in my pocket, and I just was disgusted with myself, you know what I mean? Like, taking too many drugs, and I just was like, hell nah, I can't be on that shit. You know what I mean? And like literally that story right there is why I told myself like I can't be on these Xans like that. And ever since then, I haven't been on the Xans like that. I only take them like, I would say I'm not prescribed. I could probably go to the doctor and get a prescription. And if I did have a prescription, I would say I'd take them as prescribed. You know what I'm saying? Which is barely. I might take them once or twice every few months. That's how I take it. Yeah.
How old were you at the time when you had this big trip?
Man, I was like just graduating high school, man. Like I was like 18 years old when I was just going crazy like that. Going fucking crazy on that shit, bro.
Taking that those different concoctions of drugs, was overdose ever a thought for you? Did you ever think, maybe I'll just take the Xanax, but I won't take these perks and mix it with the ecstasy and mix it with the drinking?
And where I come from, motherfuckers go hard, bro, especially when we were young. This is what we did. We went out and got fucked up. We was in the parties fucked up, you know what I mean? Drunk as fuck, high as fuck, on a few drugs, you know what I'm saying? Like sipping the drink, smoking the gas, you know what I'm saying? Popping the perks, on the Xan, you know what I'm saying? Like motherfuckers still do that shit, you know what I'm saying? Not saying I still do that shit, but there's people I know that still rock like that, you know what I mean? I do what I do, I get down, I do indulge in what I indulge in, you know what I'm saying? But back then I wasn't thinking about overdose. There was a couple of times where I know for a fact I was very close to, you know, crossing that line, and I have felt like I've overdosed a couple of times. I've never been to the hospital and like had to be brought back or something like that. But I know for a fact that I've like went overboard and like it wasn't good. Like something happened to me. You know what I mean? I knew I was overdosing. I knew I had took too much, but it wasn't even a thought back then, man. We was just going hard, enjoying life. You know what I mean? We was just feeling good. We wasn't hurting nobody, and we wasn't trying to hurt ourselves. We was just trying to have fun. You know? That's real shit.
That just seems like a lot of drugs to feel good. Couldn't one of those drugs just make you feel good?
You gotta understand, like on a regular basis, it wasn't like that, but that's one of them wild fucking crazy nights. And you're right, man. One could, but you know, we weren't thinking like that. We're out, it's girls, it's all of us are together. It's not just one person doing it. We're all doing this shit. You know what I mean? and we're in the club atmosphere, we're partying hard, we're doing this shit every night. This is what we did, you know, that's that drug scene, you know what I'm saying? And I was full-fledged in that drug scene, not on the street and doing shit, but like, you know what I mean? I would do what I do, grind all day, and then, you know, at the end of the night, I'm popping a bean, I'm getting drunk, I'm doing that, you know what I'm saying? But that crazy night, that was just one of the nights where it's possible for me to mix those shits and crazy shit happen, you know what I mean? Like, it's possible for me to do that shit, you know what I'm saying? That's how I know it's not good for me. When I take Xanax, it clouds my judgment. I make decisions that I wouldn't make. I don't remember shit. It's the only drug I take where I don't remember, or I will make a decision that I wouldn't make, or I'll do something that I know for a fact I wouldn't have done. You know what I mean? You can kill somebody on that shit and wake up and be like, oh my God, I didn't do that. You know what I mean? Like
and literally think you didn't do that.
They really think you didn't do it. You could be, you know, fighting tooth and nail to tell people like, yo, I'm innocent, but you're guilty as a motherfucker, but you don't remember that shit because you took fucking 5 bars. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking crazy, bro. Like, it's ridiculous.
What's the appeal of Xanax? Why would one want to take Xanax?
I think people like to take Xans because it takes them away from what they're going through, and they think it's helping their depression, not depression, but real depression.
Mental issues?
They think it's helping their mental issues and their depression and everything like that. But really, once you get into abusing it and if you're not prescribed it, you shouldn't be taking it. And once you start taking it and you're abusing it like that, it just makes things worse, man. You know, it just drives you. If you're crazy, it's gonna make you crazier. You know what I mean? If you're stressed, it's gonna make you more stressed. You know what I mean? Because not only are you making bad decisions, your judgment's clouded, and you're also creating a habit. You know, it costs money. Drugs aren't free. You know what I mean? Like Xanax is, and that's another thing. Xanax is so cheap. You know what I mean? Bars, like, you know, at the most $6, you can get them for $2-3. You know what I'm saying? And 2 bars will have you out of this world, fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Spend $10 and you're out of this world. Like, you know what I mean? And I think that's another appeal to it. You know what I mean? Where drugs like Percocets, they're higher for a pill. Roxy's, they're high. Lean is fucking ridiculous high. You know what I mean? Like, so I think, you know, that's another appeal to it. Oh, $10 and I can be smashed. You know what I'm saying? People love that shit, bro. Cheap drugs, people love that shit, man.
Do you know anybody that ever overdosed or died from Xanax?
I know people that took it too far on how much they were taking, but I don't know anybody personally that died from Xanax.
Have you heard about the news story recently of Lil Peep, a rapper that recently passed away?
That's actually hit home hard, bro, because like in the past couple of months, I got turned on to his music or whatever, because I seen him. I'm like, damn, this dude looks out there, you know what I mean? But like I listened to his music and like I really got into it, man. Like I could just relate to a lot of his topics and a lot of the things he was saying, and it was just a different type of music. So I was feeling it. I actually came up to Atlanta to see his show at the Loft that was like a week ago or whatever, man. And we went crazy. We met some of the dudes. We met, you know, we was chilling with Fish Narc, and we was kicking it with Horsehead or whatever. And it's just a sad thing, man. You know what I mean? Like for real. Like when I woke up this morning, my friend texted me like, you know, Peep's dead. I'm like, damn, bro. Like I've been thinking about that shit all day. Like it's just fucked up because like he touched a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a sad thing. You know, at 21 years old, like for anyone to die, you know, that young, it's just sad. You know what I'm saying? He
died on his tour bus. He was on tour.
Yeah.
CNN says it's a drug overdose, most likely Xanax.
Right.
I've never personally heard somebody overdosing from Xanax and dying. I don't know what combination of drugs he may have had in his system. I don't know if it was a combo that led to his death. I don't know if it was Xanax in particular, but the news article says most likely Xanax. He did do a social media post saying he had taken 6 Xans like the night before or something like that.
Yeah.
And he looked out of it when he made that post. He also made another social media post about Percocet. So just curious on, you know, what you just make of this whole thing.
Man, it's just a sad situation, man. I will say this, as far as people dying from Xanax, the only time I have heard people dying with Xanax in their system, it was a combo, a mixture that brought on the, you know, whatever it caused the death, you know, heart failure, you know, whatever it caused, it was a mixture. Or another thing, you know, a lot of people are making fake drugs, pressing Xanax, pressing Percocets, and it's not you're not getting alprazolam or however you pronounce it. You're getting, like, for instance, fentanyl, or, you know, people are making fake lean and it's got methadone in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the kind of things that I've heard killing people. And it's just sad, man. Like, you know, whether, you know, if he chose to do the drugs, that's on him, you know what I mean? But, you know, it's a totally different thing if something happens to you when you're doing drugs and, you know, you're taking a drug that you thought was Xanax and it ends up being fentanyl and kill you. You know, that's just a fucked up situation. You know what I'm not saying that's what happened because I don't know enough to say that. But it's just a fucked up situation all around, you know, his friends and his family, you know, it's sad. My condolences to Lil Peepers, man. Rest in peace to Hellboy, you know, Crybaby. Rest in peace.
Is there any advice you would have for somebody that's, you know, a pill popper, drug user, and maybe Xanax is part of their thing they like to enjoy or like to take or abuse or
coming from someone who does drugs, you know, I do drugs, I sip, you know, I pop, I smoke hella reefer, that's, you know, that's my thing. But coming from someone who does these things, you know, you gotta, like, if you're gonna experiment, you need to know that the things you're experimenting with are safe to try. You know, you need to make sure that you understand how these drugs work and how these interactions work. You can't take something and you're naive about it and you don't know, okay, well, if I feel this way, something bad might be happening. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna make the decision, I'm not saying do drugs, you know, if you can stay away from drugs, stay away from drugs, you know, don't do none of it. Smoke weed, because that ain't a drug, but if you can stay away from all the other shit, stay away from it. But if you are gonna experiment and try stuff and do stuff, just educate yourself, you know what I mean? And make sure the people you're around are educated too, and that they have the best interest at heart. Because if something bad happens, you want to know that, you know what I mean, you're gonna be all right, or people know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't wanna be going into the situation and trying drugs and being blind to the fact and not knowing what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Does this story make you want to quit or tone down what you do?
I mean, of course, like, anytime something bad happens when people do drugs, it makes you second guess yourself, and you know what I mean? But that's me, you know, that's my own, you know, Peep had his own demons, I got my own demons, you know, that's my own personal battles, you know. I'm necessarily, you know what I mean? I'm not saying I have a drug problem, or I'm not saying I don't have a drug problem. I'm not one of those people that's naive and saying, I'm not addicted, I'm just immune to the pills or something. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying shit like that. What I'm saying is that, you know, it makes you think about what you're doing, but personally, I'm always very conscious about what I'm doing. I'm not taking as many drugs as I was. If I'm gonna get high, I'm taking, you know what I mean, just what I need to get high. I'm not going crazy and overdoing it, you know what I'm saying? But it definitely, it's gonna make anyone think, you know, but you just gotta be safe in what you're doing, you know what I mean? Educate yourself and know what you're doing, know yourself. Know yourself too, you know what I mean?